Well, look who's joining us from a pretty awesome-looking den and a pretty awesome-looking jukebox behind him. We're not going to talk about what's on that jukebox, but we're going to talk to Bruce Boudreau, our good friend, our NHL analyst. Great to see you, Bruce. So you saw the game, Leafs and Golden Knights. Zach Whitecloud lays out Matthew Knies in the second period. Knies does not return to the game, Bruce. No major penalty on the play. The league reviews it, no penalty. What did you think of the hit, Bruce? And my second part of that question is, do you expect the Department of Player Safety to take any further action?
You know, like when I'm watching it, I mean, from the first angle, I said, okay, he went through the chest and hit him in the head. But when I watched it from the other angle, it looked like it was a direct hit to the head. Now, that can be both misleading. Both of those angles can be misleading. But what sold it to me that it should have been 5 is when Zach came over and he left his feet to make the hit. That means he tried to get him hit. He tried to hit him high. And he tried to hit him maybe in the chest, but to me, he got him in the jaw, and it should have been a 5-minute penalty. I don't know why it wasn't. It was called really quickly. So, I mean, they must have said, hey, he started to hit him in the sweater and the upper chest. But to me, when you leave your feet, that's a little bit of intention. And he put him out of the game, which they wouldn't have known at that time. But I think that's a pretty serious hit to me.
And the fact that they reviewed it and then no major penalty, Bruce, do you think that just means unlikely that the Department of Player Safety will take any further action?
It's really unlikely, depending on who was in there making the call. Like, I mean, there's usually 4 or 5 guys in there, but I'm sure George wasn't there. They might not have called him or Coley, and they will look at it tomorrow. And very rarely do they like to go against what they've called. But I've seen suspensions come from 2-minute minors, missed calls, and everything else. But because they looked at it, and then they decided that there's no major penalty, I don't think there's going to be any other penalties added to it. But I would add it if I was there, I'm telling you.
Okay. Leafs list of injured forwards just keeps getting longer. You got Knies, Austin Matthews out, Max Domi, David Kampf, Max Pacioretty, Calle Jarnkrok. And yet, a very impressive performance against a very good Golden Knights team. Bruce, how is this Leafs group doing it?
You know what? They're doing it because they're doing exactly what Craig wants them to do. Like, I mean, this is when we talked in August, this is how he wanted to coach. He wanted to make them a defensive-minded team. The Leafs had, 12 shots after 2? But once the other team starts opening up, they got their talent that can score goals. And I thought they had, even when there was just 1-0 or 2-0 and they were getting outshot, I thought they had the much better scoring chances. They were hitting posts. They were, they had to make some really good saves on them, on the Leafs. But, I mean, I thought they're playing perfect Stanley Cup hockey. Now, don't get me going here. I know it's only November right now, but this team is a good hockey team. When you can miss 6 of your better forwards and still play a shutdown game against the Las Vegas team, I think you're good, and I think you're going to be real good all summer. And you know what? Here's the last thing, Jay, or not the last thing, whatever you want to ask me, I'll talk about. But when you're Craig Berube and you're in there and the guys and he's sitting there looking at him tomorrow and saying, look, when you play this way, you're going to win, you're going to get chances. And I mean, with 6 forwards missing, when they get them guys back, if they play the same way, they're going to be successful all year. I just love the way they're playing. Solid defense wins the hockey games every single time.
There it is. From one coach to another. Toronto now 6-1-0 without Austin Matthews in the lineup this season. Pretty wild. Bruce, this is great. Thanks for this, my friend.
Anytime, Jay. Talk to you soon, I hope.